Okay, my book is called Origins, Testament of the One. Prior to releasing the book, I decided to reveal some of the characters within the book. And the reveal of the characters, it is random. In other words, I really didn't have an order in mind or a character in mind. I just let fate move me forward in the selection of the ones that I would write about. And so in Origins, Testament of the One, the first book, I introduced 10 characters. What I'm going to do is go behind the scenes with you and talk about each of those 10 characters, those short stories I put together, or character reveals as I call them, and kind of give you some background on those characters behind the scenes. The first character is Icon. I have a picture that you're able to look at. You'll see it toggling back and forth with the cover. So Icon is an immortal elder. So a quick background with things. In this book you have several types of creatures. You have the immortals, and within the immortal group you have 3 levels of categorization. You have the elder immortals, which are the ancient ones. You have intermediate immortals, which are likened to the Greek and the Roman gods in a power and authority. And then you have the younger immortals. And the younger immortals are more like superhero type folks. So I'm starting off pretty heavy with one of the elder immortals. And again, her name is Icon. The picture is of sitting on a Leviathan that she has destroyed somewhere in the universe. A lot of the story takes place not only on Earth, but in other areas. And when I mean story, is the whole tale of Testament of the One. It's not just confined to Earth. So let's get into the tale of Icon. The first time you see Icon, you really don't see her, or the first time that you're introduced to her. You're introduced to her through Alexis Evening. And Alexis is a high-powered anchor woman of a newscast station, one of the prominent newscast stations on Earth. And Alexis has been trying for quite some time to get an interview with Icon. And you can see she has gone through an extensive attempt to contact I. And up until this point, she had been unsuccessful. The story also gives you a clear picture that before Alexis was trying to get an interview with her, her boss was trying to get an interview with her. Miss Evening's boss, his name is Mr. Steve Euphrates, and he's now retired, and Ms. Evening has taken his place. And so you would think that upon getting an interview with Icon, Ms. Evening is of course excited, but you would think that her boss would be pretty excited also, because he had spent many years trying to get an interview with her unsuccessfully. But what's interesting is when the two talk about the interview that they have with Icon, the way that Stephen, or Mr. Euphrates, approaches it is from a feeling of foreboding. He's really hoping that she, and I mean by she I mean Ms. Evening, would not have been successful in garnering the interview in the first place. So from his perspective, this is not a good thing. From her perspective, this is a once-in-a-lifetime potential, and she's more than ready to take advantage of it. And she's really upset that he is not equally excited in the opportunity that has just fallen into her lap. So now we jump to the interview. And Ms. Evening is actually scared, sitting across from I. She's noticing the powerful demeanor of this immortal elder. She is, in a sense, like prey, and Icon is, of course, the predator. And no matter what she tells herself, she, meaning Ms. Evening, no matter what she tries to do to comfort herself or calm herself down, she really can't, because she knows instinctually that the woman that she's sitting across from could wipe her out in an instant. The scary part about it is she doesn't know how she can wipe her out. She just has this foreboding. She's looking at this magnificent, powerful creature, and she's hoping that she's able to get through this interview and get away from Icon as quickly as possible without any kind of harm coming to her. Not understanding the harm, she just wants to get away from it. But she's drawn to it because I is just such an enigma, such a powerful woman, and has such a demanding presence. So to calm her mind down, Alexis instinctually thinks about the meeting that she had with her mentor and her boss just a day ago. And, she's thinking to herself that she's disappointed that the two of them couldn't really celebrate happily this achievement of meeting with Icon. In the midst of that thought, Icon abruptly starts the interview. And that's when you, the reader, get a chance to really hear in the first person Icon. She just starts without any type of ceremony, or without an initial introduction, or without an introduction of who she is. I really doesn't care about that. She just starts talking to Alexis, and Alexis is kind of taken off guard and she has never had an interview start in such a fashion. But it speaks to the point of how these immortal elders move. Humans in their eye are creatures so far down on the evolutionary scale that they, by nature, give them meaning the humans, very little regard. So Icon basically starts off by saying that she has killed beings that have crawled, walked, swam, or flew. So she's letting Alexis know at this point that she is more than deadly. She enjoys it. She enjoys the destruction of life. And so Alexis inquires as to whether or not this person that she believes to be an immortal is in fact immortal. And of course, Icon gives the affirmative, and not in a nice way. She calls Alexis a stupid child, and then she tells Alexis that it's not because of her accomplishments that she is holding audience with Icon. She tells her flat out, it's not your intelligence or your gender that got you here. She tells her it's her looks. So there's something about the way that Alexis looks that has kind of opened the door. And with I, it's not necessarily beauty. It's the look of prey. And that's why Icon is there. Alexis, to her, looks to be the perfect prey for the perfect moment. And that's why I is giving her this interview, this audience. So Alexis is once again assaulted by Icon's forwardness, and she basically questions her from the standpoint of, do you speak to people so rudely? And Icon answers that. Of course she does. This is who I am, this is how I move. Not only does she answer the question, but she leans forward, threatening Alexis even more. Icon is very aggressive towards Alexis, which again, is throwing Alexis into this fight or flight mode. And so I is very clear that we wouldn't even be speaking at this point. You would see me, I would see you, and you simply would be dead. But because I'm talking to you, you should consider yourself not only lucky, but honored. Now, during this segment of the discussion, I take the reader out into the room, and there's a red door that moves in a strange fashion. And it's said that the door moves as though there is someone, behind the door. And the way that I wrote that aperture or that door, it's not like a usual door. It's not wooden or metal or anything. It sort of has etherealness about it, and that strange nature belongs to the person that is behind it. And we won't get into that. You'll discover who that person is later on in another story. But once you see the red door move, Icon then again interrupts both our mind and Alexis's thoughts. And she begins to speak again. And I basically says, that she's done with this interview. And she basically says that she has no interest in pursuing Alexis in her usual pursuit. Now that's good news, because from an Icon perspective, pursuit is certain death. So Alexis will live through this, the camera crew and the rest of the folks will live through this story, and that's why it's being told. But from a different perspective, she's now told Alexis that she may have the interest of another person, perhaps a younger immortal, intermediate immortal, or an elder immortal. Icon does not go into who that immortal is. She really doesn't care. She just gets up and she leaves, just as rudely as when she started the conversation in the first place. And so upon Icon's leaving, Alexis notices that the lights in the room, from both her cameramen and the building itself, they go from a dim sort of illumination to a brighter illumination. And the reason behind that is death has left the room. So the lightness of light now enters into the picture, and things are back to as normal as they can be. And Alexis, notices the lights, and then she looks around the room and she asks her crew, what the hell just happened? And all of us, including Alexis, are left in dumbfounded, blessed silence. Nobody is able to give her an answer to that question. Nobody really understands what's happened here. And that's the tale of Icon. Until next time.